Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time, I say thank you for stopping by. Do well to like, share and subscribe. In today's video, we are drafting this beautiful asymmetric top together. Are you ready? Let's go there. I will start by ruling out my starting line, which will also serve as my shoulder line. So from this line, I will be marking out my bust point, which is 10 inches. Then from there also, I will go out and mark out my half length, which is also my waist, and that's going to give me 16 inches. Also, I will go ahead to mark the top length, which is 24 inches. I'm starting my drafting with the back bodice because it will be easier to cut out the front with it, okay? I'm just going to connect the lines now to make it visible, and I can start marking out my measurement. To start with, I'll be marking the half of my shoulder, which is 7 inches, and then go ahead to mark out my sleeve because it is a cut together sleeve. I mark out 9 inches. You can use more or less depending on how long or short you want your sleeve to be. So for the neck width, I'm using 3 inches and 1 inch for the depth. You connect like so and go down by 1 inches from the shoulder line to form the shoulder slope, and you connect it down to the neck width. You make a straight line down to the neck width. Okay, from the slope, I'm going down by 8 inches. It's optional depending on how wide you want your sleeve to be. For me, I am making use of 8 inches, and I will make a straight line as you can see. Then on the bust line, I will mark out the quarter of my bust measurement, add 1 inch is allowance, and also go to my waistline, mark out the quarter of my waist plus 1 inch so it is allowance, and also on the hip line, which is the top length, I'll mark out the quarter of my hip measurement plus 1 inch is allowance, and I'm going to connect the lines together like so. From my sleeve, I will draw a line inward as shown and make a slight curve to blend the sleeve with the bust as seen. And from the hip line, I will go up by 2 inches to give the curvy shape by the side, and connect the line from the center of my hip line to the 2 inches I took earlier with my French curve. And I'm just going to make the lines visible now with my red marker before cutting out the back pattern. So guys, I was managing the pattern paper at the time I was making this video, and that is why my back bodice was not drafted on fold. Please don't forget to cut on fold on fabric. You can as well draft on fold on your pattern paper if you have enough. I told you guys earlier I was going to use the back as a guideline for my front bodies, okay? And that is exactly what I'm doing. But at the center front, I am leaving out some space which is 2 inches, and that is going to serve as my bottom line. And on the down part of the front bodice, I will be going down by 4 inches. Now this depends on how long you want the front bodice to be. For me, I am okay with 4 inches, and I'm just going to make a straight line there, and from that point I'm going to connect the line in such a way it meets the side of the back bodice as seen. At the upper part, I'm just going to use the back pattern to mark out the neck width, and that is exactly why I did not cut out the neckline of the back pattern first. So on the waistline, I am going to go up by 1 inch because I don't want any cleavage showing. So and all I'm just going to do is to connect my line from my neck width down to the line, down to that space I left. So I'm just cutting out my back neckline now since I already marked it out. So just like I said, guys, I'm going to take my ruler and just connect to the neck width as so. You can decide to connect from the neckline down to the waistline because that is exactly how it is on the style. But I prefer my overlapping starting from my parts. So now all I'm going to do is to mark out the lines with my marker and cut it out. And of course, the front bodice is also unfold. And I will open up the center front to give me two pieces. So this is what the front bodice looks like after cutting. To shape it out, I will pick one of the pieces, preferably the left part according to the style, and I will go up by 2 inches. If you want this part lower, because this is the part we will be reducing, so if you want it lower, you can increase your inches. And once I'm done, I'm going to connect it to the side of the pieces like so, and I will cut it out. So this is what the front piece should look like after cutting. You can see one part longer than the other. So the next thing to do is to pick out the part that is longer, and I'm just trying to mark out my waistline on that part. And I already notch it out. So from the waistline, I will draw a line inward as a guide. Then I'm going to go in by 1 inch at the tip, at the down part, and connect from the waistline down in a slant way like so to give it the slant shape. And I will just cut out that part. So guys, this is what the front body looks like after drafting it, and I've also gone ahead to cut out the belt. Just measure out the length of the belt you want and you cut it in two pieces. Don't forget to cut the back on fold. Please don't forget to add your sewing allowance when you're cutting on fabric. Thanks for watching. Bye.